Hello and welcome to Cockatoos with Attitude. What do you say? Got anything to say over there? I'm not going to eat my shoes now.
Oh, there we go. It took a little while for the chat to appear for me.
What?
Can you see the chat?
I can see it now. It took a little while for it to appear. Hi, everybody.
Hello. Snowball, you got something to say?
So, and our first chatter has arrived. It's Lisa Banerjee saying hello, friends.
Hello.
Look at these two friends. Are you two friends?
I don't think they're sure if they're friends.
But is KK Beaky beaking the goose?
Lucy looks a bit baffled.
I think KK was from the first moment he saw Lucy a little bit into her. Maybe that's a first attempt.
She's not pushing.
KK, I think you must listen to Cecil. He can tell you stories about having a girlfriend.
I can tell you stories too.
And Falcon is here and says hello, everyone, everybody.
Hello. Hello, Falcon Sue.
KK.
KK, are you going to be eating again?
Sweetie pie. Okay? Sweetie pie.
In that case. Were you falling asleep on our frisbee down there? Huh? What are we doing down there?
I think sitting on the frisbee is also very important in training. You must become one with the frisbee. Is there someone in their cage back there?
Yeah. Pippa's been put in jail. Yeah.
Oh, Pip is still here, but in timeout.
I have to make her understand that she's not frisbee monitor. That's not her job.
Triton in detention. Are we surprised? Not really.
Oh, well, it's very new. It's never happened before.
No.
We caught you over there, Jazz.
Sitting as far as possible away again. Oh, my Jessie.
Yeah, but she's chewing on a pine cone, so. Hey, Cecil. Seesaw. Cecil. Seashore. Sea salt. Wake up, Snowball. 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 Snowbird. Snowball. Pippa? Yeah, I know. Frisbee time. You don't like that, do you? Jasmine,
And
you sleep?
GTH is here, so hello.
Hello? Yeah, running the heater as we have to right now. We're going through about 5 gallons of water a day, so humidifying the place, aren't we, kid? Snowball? You're supposed to keep track of it. I'll have to go pick up another 60 gallons of water today. What are you doing? Frisbee time? Is it frisbee time over there? Sorry, Pep. I really wish you could get in their heads and figure out why she's so adamant that he can't play with frisbees.
Mm. Probably one needs to be a Triton to understand fully.
Did you drop your pine cone? Actually, it looked like she put it to the side. Are you stacking those? What are you doing?
It's throwing the frisbees. Oh my, that's cool. And
Look
Pippa
at me.
goes nuts in the cage.
She's an anti-frisbee protester.
Not so sure if she is against the frisbee or about how Snowball handles them. Or it's just an attempt to say, Snowball, don't play with the frisbees, play with the pip.
Yep, you're
I think
crazy.
I think maybe she thinks that he is too gentle with them, and she says, "No, you should attack, go full psycho." But she doesn't understand that they're a toy.
Pippa, you're an odd bird. You definitely are an odd bird. Okay, that's a little much now. Let's calm down. You're getting a little, no, you can't grab a hold of my hand like that. Nope, nope. Let go. Let go.
So
Okay.
GTH is wondering if IBM's new quantum processor might help us understand Triton logic.
Probably not if it's IBM.
Well, one never knows. Sometimes they might have and come back.
Well, their big computing is all they do now. I mean, really big. They don't do small businesses or anything really, but they blew that market. They had an opportunity, but they blew it. They won't come back except in large computers. I don't see any way they can, but there are other areas they can do. If anyone remembers the movie 2001: A Space Odyssey, it's kind of an old movie based on Arthur C. Clarke.
Yep.
Yeah, The HAL 9000 computer. Where did they get the name HAL?
Hmm. It's IBM, just you took these Caesar, this cryptology, you move one
Yep,
letter in alphabet back.
exactly. No, the leader in computing today is Apple, but who knows what it will be in the future. I mean, it depends on, if they come up with a small quantum processor, somebody else comes up with it, that might wrest it from Apple. But right now, their processors are better than anything else on the market, and they're years ahead. So, do you have to eat my hand? Do you have to eat it? Is it just tasty or what? Is it just tasty or what? Hmm? Uh-uh. Why do you have to eat my hand? Yeah, when the Earth was new and I was a kid, IBM was it. First computer I ever worked on was an IBM 360/70. That's actually the computer where the term bug came from, because they had a system that wasn't running right and they opened it up and there was a moth in it. So hence computer bug. We had tape drives and you had to hand code everything onto, or I should punch them into punch cards, and you ran punch cards through the card reader to do a program. It's an ancient history. Pippa knows all about that then. The only thing she has problem with is frisbees, isn't it, little girl? What are you doing up there? How come you're snoozing? Hmm? Don't eat the clothing. Let's not eat the clothing. Are you learning that from Lorelai or what? What are you doing up there? Oops, did you fall? Did you fall? Snowball.
It's no snowball.
Snowball.
What's the pip doing?
Watching the snowball.
Mm. A snowball. How does it feel being stalked?
Yeah, he's usually a stalker, so it must feel strange.
Looks like we're developing a stalker chain inside the flock.
It's so odd that she has no problem with him when he's not playing with frisbees. But
Mm.
Chloe didn't like him playing with frisbees either. But when he was doing that, she'd go to the far end of the room and sit the highest point away from us while we played with frisbees. Maybe it's the ghost of Chloe past.
Mm.
She didn't try to stop him though. She just got away from him while he was playing.
Pippa, can you not only talk to Steve but also to Chloe? And she told you just prevent the frisbee playing.
What, Snowball? What you want? You're looking at me. What do you want?
Mhm.
Snowball.
Oh, a question by Lisa Banerjee. How many months has Don had KK now? I suppose 10, since I think to remember KK came in February or came in March. Probably, yeah, 9 to 10 months now.
Sounds right to me. If you said 6 years, I'd probably agree with you, though. Look at my notes on time. I don't keep time in my head at all. And I'm not in time. He certainly has turned around, though. I had to put him back on a little bit of Haldol because he's showing his feathers a little bit, but he's a tough one to give Haldol. Whatever they did, however they gave him the syringe, he does not want to see a syringe, so they had to force it down him, which is never the way to do it. I mean, you want to find a better way. Now I have to use a little atomizer and spray it into his beak, but it works. I'll get him to take it off his syringe eventually, won't I, big boy? Because he trusts me. He just doesn't like syringes. For good reason. They must have done something to him. Probably toweled him to do it. That's a good way to get a bird to hate you. You have to train them to like towels before you towel them if you can. And yes, you can do that. Associating it with their favorite food, with being petted, that kind of thing. That's the basic idea. You have to associate it with something positive. Jasmine, wake up. I know you're partially awake. I can see you looking at me. What are you doing? I had to make a couple of calls this morning. I had to walk through the bird room while I was on a call, and she decided it was time to do her jazzy song. Didn't you? Jasmine, what you doing? Making me feel like I bore you. No.
Well, maybe while you're ignored by Jasmine, you can answer a question from GTH. The question is, does Pippa have a problem if Don plays frisbee with Snowball? Do you think it's frisbees in general?
It's hard to tell because when I'm playing frisbee, I'm playing with Snowball, so it's hard to know. She doesn't come over at me. She only bothers him if he's around a frisbee. So I think it's tied to him. But since nobody else plays with frisbees, I don't know for sure. Once in a while, Cecil will pick up a frisbee for a moment or something, but that's not his. He doesn't have an interest in them, really. Do you? I wish I knew the answer to that. I think it's tied to him, but until somebody else starts playing frisbee, I don't know. She won't come over to me though. If I'm throwing a frisbee with him, she doesn't come over.
I think she's jealous.
Maybe. I don't know. Usually it's territoriality or fear that drive them. So when they have behaviors like that, but
I just can't imagine Pippa being afraid of a frisbee, though. That seems very odd.
Yeah, I don't think it's fear. And my guess, and this is just a guess, is that it's territoriality. She feels somewhat territorial about him, and the frisbee looks like it's taking her place. That sounds weird, but I've seen it with toy parrots and things. They'll get territorial with a toy parrot, so it's possible because he's giving his time to the frisbee instead of sitting next to her. It's possible.
Well, GTH is asking if maybe she got hit by one day, but I don't think that ever happened here.
She doesn't seem afraid. I presented them to her, and she just kind of doesn't back up or anything. She just doesn't show much interest. But when there's a frisbee near him, oh, that's it. That's why I think it's some form of territoriality. And the Tritons tend to be the most territorial. She's always been a little different, with since she swallowed that lead. That wasn't when she was with us, but that's made her a little different. Dr. Young said that the only time he's ever seen a bird that was actually suffering from any kind of lead poisoning or metallic poisoning of any kind is after they'd consumed a chunk of it. He doesn't believe in that there's lead in the ceramic coating on the cages and stuff. He doesn't think that really. There were probably almost no birds that had that problem. Maybe a few that just chewed all the coating off of them, but
Yeah,
that was
Pip swallowed a fishing weight, didn't she? That's a
yeah.
big chunk of lead.
Yep.
Poor girl.
Fortunately, she was in Los Angeles, and that was where Dr. Nemitz is, and he's a good surgeon, so he was able to get it out of there without. It's a tough thing doing surgery on these guys. So they don't take to the anesthesia at all. So
And she's a tough Pip. She can get through.
Really strong bird.
You okay over there, Pippa?
Looks like everyone is having its nap now.
Pippa. Pippa. Hi, Pippa. Ball, ball. No, that's a frisbee, 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 not a ball, 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 ball. He says the last part of his name. Snowball, ball, ball, ball.
No, ball, 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 ball.
I had her attention until he picked up and threw a frisbee.
Oh, GTH says I thought she got hit with a BB pellet. I just assumed that since she was so hardcore. That would be a very Pippa thing to do, to be fair.
No ball. I see. No ball. Snowball.
No snowball.
No ball.
I see a Cecil crest up there. I think Cecil wants a little bit attention.
No ball.
By the way, we have a new chatter. JBCB's Bird Sanctuary is here and says hello.
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 And I also advertised a little bit for our photo contest in the chat. So for everybody who wants to participate, you have time till the weekend to send the photo to us with a little description, about what the photo is showing and the name of the bird. You can basically read that all in one of our posts. I think we posted it probably everywhere, at least at YouTube and Patreon. And I also posted the email address where you have to send it. And then next week at Wednesday, that's the plan, we will announce the winner of our contest.
And the judge will be me, because I don't have a bird of my own, so I will be impartial. And I think, is Erin judging as well, or is Erin a contestant?
I think Erin is decided to be one of the judges or referees, or how you like to put it, the people who decide, and I'm the one who manages the pictures. So you got basically to see the pictures and then decide from the picture, and afterwards we will see who belongs to whom after you have decided.
So send us your pictures, guys. We're very excited.
Yeah. I think Snowball is also saying, come on, send pictures. We are so damn terribly cute.
Yeah, Stalkable would love to see pictures of your birds.
Mm-hmm. Maybe we show the pictures to Mander. Probably.
He's been coming out a lot. He just comes out at night. He comes out with Cause. She's a little better dealing with him. Bob can't be out with any other bird right now, so.
Is Mander okay with Cause? He's not frightened of her.
Nope, sits right here on the chair with me.
That's good. Because it'd be quite silly if he was frightened of her, given that he weighs 3 times what she does.
Yeah, he doesn't know that though. He doesn't realize that he's the big guy. He just doesn't realize it.
Now it's Pippa watching us. Hi, Pip. Pip also wants you guys to send in pictures. Pippa? Yeah, let's have fun. You also can win a really, really cool mug.
Mander's more like John Coffey in The Green Mile. Just a big, caring bird.
That's a really funny comparison.
Well, you think about the character. The character was big, but he was simple, but
and then we can discuss a question which was obviously by Lisa's sister asked. What does a parrot have that a dog don't? Because a lifespan of some parrots outlive dogs and cats and other animals.
That's a good question, and I think we actually have the answer now. Based on recent research, what we have something, well, mammals, all animals have this in their DNA. It's called the telomere, and what it does is it repairs the DNA when there's a problem with it. As we get older, it becomes weaker and weaker and weaker, and the repairs don't get made properly, and that's where most of our problems come from. At least the ones, getting old and the failings of getting old. So they actually have telomeres that stay active, almost 100% active their entire lives. So they die of, they eventually do die, but they live a long time because their DNA gets repaired.
Mm.
So that's the big reason they live a long time, is they have these super active telomeres that repair their DNA. They're also built better than we are. I mean, they have with the cockatoos, they have a dust that keeps the infestation of critters off of them, so they don't get lice and bugs living on them. They don't hold a bunch of waste inside of their bodies. They get rid of it quickly. So they tend to evacuate the poisons out of their environment faster, except for in the lungs. There, they just fly away from whatever might affect their lungs. All in all, they're built better than mammals. General animals are built better. With these guys, they're highly intelligent too, so they can figure out situations other animals can't. Right, Snowball?
I just put the Wikipedia article about telomere in chat. So for all the people who have basically no idea what I was talking about.
Yeah, we're
Well,
getting science here.
to put it in simple terms, it's like you have a little repair facility inside your DNA. Okay, it's located at the bottom of the chromosomes in your body.
I know what
And,
a telomere is, but yeah.
and for other people describing it, so you have this repair facility. Ours breaks down. It's like they start going on strike as we get into our middle 20s, and by the time we're into our 40s and 50s, they're at lunch most of the time. But those guys never go on strike, so they live longer for that reason. And that all came originally from research done on pond scum, because there is this particular single-celled animal that lives in ponds that also does not have the problem that we do, where it actually repairs itself. And somebody found that out, and doing basic research, and then somebody who was working with cockatoos, actually parrots in general, said, "Wait a minute, these guys live a long time. I wonder if that's what they have too." And they found out that's what it was. So
I cannot remember what animal it was. I think it was something living in the sea, being kind of a crab or something. And these guys are basically, they don't age at all, but they are highly aggressive. And when they fight about the females, or they fight against each other, so it's really likely that they die. So basically they don't age at all, so they keep their population balanced out by killing each other.
sounds like humans keep trying to do that.
It's just amazing what's going on in nature. I think telomere might be a thing, but there are also a lot of other things which need to be considered
Well, they have
in aging in general, and probably in human aging too.
Yeah, the number one thing is for aging is telomeres. That's why we age, because they break down. But other diseases there are other problems with genetics too. So a bird could be could be hatched with a particular genetic problem, and it eventually will cause them to die. We have the same thing once we're past breeding age. At that point, there's no reason for us to be alive. We can't actually duplicate ourselves. So
yeah, that's actually not the point. In humans, we are one of the really less species who basically, after a certain time or so, the females stop reproducing, and that has actually a biological sense that they are grandparents, that then the surviving rate of the children goes up. So
yeah,
that
what I'm saying,
development needs to be taken into account. Of course, that there are not great grandparents or so alive, then that wasn't the necessity for something which really
wasn't where I was
as
going.
humans, but
Once
great parents are a thing, actually.
Once you reach that point where you're unable to reproduce, that's where most of the bodily ills come in, because there's no there are things that start activating in your DNA chain that cause diseases. So that's what I was trying to go at. That's at that point, you're not going to pass it on. So there's things in your DNA chain that are going to activate over time, and you're not going to pass those on to the next generation. So that's where a lot of the later diseases come into.
So we have Jocelyn Trickle in chat, and Lisa Banerjee has another question. Do you think wild parrots live longer than hand-raised?
We don't know the answer to that, but it's pretty obvious that they are built to survive in the wild. So hand-raised, there was one veterinarian who wrote a book on caring for birds, holistic care, I think it was, but Dr. McCluggey or something. He said the average lifespan of a parrot in the United States is about 5 years. We don't actually have all the figures for that, but I mean, with Teflon, with things like Carpet Fresh, with scents that we put into the air, which doesn't make any sense, but we do it. All the dangers that we have around electrical cords and things, they tend to not live so long in captivity.
I think it's hard to say though, because if you're looking at a case where somebody actually takes proper care to avoid all of those, then they can probably live just as long as they would. And then in the wild, they have predation and starvation and weather and all that kind of things to contend with. So it's probably quite a hard question to answer.
Yeah, it would. And, it depends on the area. There's not much predation in some areas. Other areas have a lot of predation, but they're generally able to handle predators without much of a problem, unless it's one that crawls around in the trees at night, because they can't see that well. Well, they don't see really at all in the dark. So, and they have ways to deal with predators. Most predators don't like the loud sounds they make, and or the ones that their African greys make. I know you're a good bird. I know that. So, I know.
Pippa, are you ranting back there?
She is, yeah. I would say that they probably live longer. Well, I'm pretty sure they live longer in the wild. The other thing too is, even if you're taking care of them well, are they getting flight? Because if they're not getting flight, they're not getting exercise. And if they're not getting exercise, it's unhealthy not to exercise. So, and the only true exercise for a parrot is flight. I'm trying to get the paper towels here, guys. I'm not having any luck. Hey, don't grab the paper towel. Hold it. Move. To get Cecil, you didn't poop on me this time. You pooped on the floor. I don't know, Snowball. I'm trying to get the poop off the floor. Or I step in. Cecil's got a way of always finding some place to poop that I'm either going to step on it or it's going to land on me. Yeah, nobody's actually measured their lifespan in the wild. I imagine it's pretty long. I mean, they're eating the right food, they're getting exercise. A widow bird, other than the diseases that man has sent them their way, they don't have many diseases that affect them. Better immune systems than we have. What do you think, guys? Lucy?
What is the Lucy thinking? Oh, someone wants to be print. Goose?
That's usually the way he makes sure that it's okay to bring them, is by putting his head down. But right now he's scratching the side of his head, so I'm not sure what's going on.
Probably just showing Lucy what a good boy he is. I think that's one of his tactics to get along with other birds, like sitting next to him and showing that he is, nice to have around. Doing no harm or anything. So Lisa says Rico is a wild caught and he's over 35 years old. Well, think for a parrot or so can be still much longer. But it's amazing to see, oh, okay, these birds are older than I am and they might outlive me, even though.
Yeah, it's amazing how long they can live. But one mistake is all it takes. And this is the problem with having them in a home. One mistake.
And then Falcon Zoo says predatory birds don't live nearly as long as parrots, cockatoos, maybe because they eat meat and no veggies.
Yeah, I don't think we know why that's the case either, but that's possible. I mean, there's a lot of other things you get from vegetables. So there are some parrots that will occasionally eat bugs, but these guys don't do that. And from what we know in the wild, they don't either. But if you've got a crop of corn, look out. Especially the kind like Pippa over there who's doing the circle in the cage. I know, I'm sorry, I had to put you in jail.
Mm-hmm.
If he gets back on the cage and stops playing with his frisbees, I'll let you out, which he will eventually.
Pippa doing the skywalk up there. Oh, Pip.
She is such a good girl. She's just got this weird thing about frisbees. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Don't want her to get hurt though, and she's the kind of bird that can get herself in a bad situation.
Mm-hmm.
She's done it before, haven't you, little girl? Brr. Pippa. Pippa, that's right. That's right. My baby. I know. Why do I have you in jail? I'm sorry.
Probably feels like a cage fighter. Just like, bring me my environment, bring me those frisbees.
Yeah, and if he's not near the frisbee, she ignores them. It's only when he's near them that she does that. Bob, on the other hand, if you put him in a cage like that, he will try to attack other birds. So something's wrong. Physically, he seems okay, but I mean, his weight's normal. His stop that now. His poop is normal, but he just doesn't get along with other birds. All of this started when Peaches passed, though. I think and he was one of the birds that Peaches managed. She kept him in line. So
Yeah, they had a really lovely relationship. They just got each other somehow.
Hello.
Hello.
That was cute.
That was very cute.
I know, KK. You're a good bird. Oh, I thought of a good analogy here too, because I've had several people come forward and say, well, you say not to do this, but I see you doing it. And the answer to that is really simple. I used to go to, with Chloe, used to love to go to the Renaissance fairs. And there was a guy there, the body juggler, and he would juggle these flaming torches. Okay. So when you've learned how to work with birds and you have applied behavior analysis or bird training under your belt, you can actually juggle torches of fire. But if you're just working with a bird and you don't have any training, you don't want to do that, because if you're trying to juggle fire, you're going to get burned. And that's pretty much it. Some of these birds, you'll see me pet them in ways that I say don't do that. Yes, do as I say, not as I do. Okay. Because I know what I'm doing. I know the individual bird and I know what I'm doing to it. Okay. I know how far I can go and what they need. But when you're just learning, or when you have a bird and you don't have training, then you have to be careful not to cross certain lines. So it's like juggling fire. If you want to juggle like 3 soft balls, which is what you, when you start to juggle, that's what you do, right? You throw it from from the left hand to the right while you throw the right hand up, and then you catch the left, and then you do all that. That's fine. You're not going to hurt anything. But try doing that with flaming torches. So there's actually a cool video of that whole stage production that he does, which he was kind enough to allow us to video. But I've had a lot of analogies I've tried to come up with on. I've come up with a bunch of them, but that's the one that's really like, it's like juggling fire, because if you stimulate a sexual response, hormonal response in a bird, and you do that on a regular basis, and you could get a bird that will do what Pippa's doing around Snowball, the whole attack profile. So they're just protecting what's theirs. On top of that, it can cause other behavioral issues. You have to watch it close. And it's a little insidious too, because it may seem like you're not having any problems. It's kind of like when you've got a water bed that's got a little tiny pinhole in it. You don't realize, and then one day it bursts. It's kind of like that. And then you've got a flood. That's what happens with the behavior. You get little tips. If you know what you're looking for, you can see that there's problems developing. But if you don't, all you end up with is a flooded bedroom. I grew up in the age of the water bed, so I never did like them, but it's kind of how it is. A little leak, you may not notice it, but once that flood hits, then what do you do? Because you got no bed, it's all water, and you got a big problem. It's soaked your whole bedroom. That's what happens with these guys. And I'm working with KK on that, because when he first got here, he was a frightened bird. He'd been flown from one place to another, and then flown to somewhere else, and his human companion had died, and he'd had difficulties getting that companion to understand him. So I have to walk a fine line with him. I have to allow him some behavior that I would tell a novice, don't do that. But I understand that just how far to play it so he feels secure. And as Dr. Susan Friedman said, who was my first teacher in ABA, she said that if you think whatever field you think is complex, behavior is the most complex of all the fields and the most difficult to understand. So Pippa, he's still sitting in front of a frisbee. She doesn't know English, but she likes me to talk to her. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello, Sanctuary and Extended Flock family.
Hello,
Hey,
Erin.
Erin.
Hey, Eleanor. Hey, Anna Maria. How's it going?
Yeah, we're good.
Well, Pippa
Pippa's
is
in
in.
timeout.
Yeah.
Oh, ruh-roh. Says
Yeah,
Snowball down there.
still sitting in front of his frisbees, so she can't be out.
Oh, yeah, she is a big fan, isn't she? That.
Yeah, I actually think that she sees it as a threat to her friendship with him. I mean, that's my best yes, but nothing else makes any sense.
Wow. Well,
It's
that's
like
an
she's-
interesting thought.
It's like she's a sports widow, only it's the platonic sports widow. Like, how does that
Well-
even work?
Chloe
But I
didn't like
think a lot of people are happy she's inside the room today, so we can watch a little Triton Trouble session.
Right.
She's
I
so
just wish-
cute.
I wish he'd stop playing with his frisbees. He's been playing with them for a while now.
Mm. So we've got not a little wine at all today. But she's in the room, I guess.
No sugar wine. Not today. Hey there.
Looky bird.
Did I mess with you? Touch your tail? Yeah, I did. Yeah, I was thinking there was one person who had adopted a cockatoo. It's funny because it was from this area and I wasn't living in this area at the time, and they were having a problem with it. It was a male umbrella cockatoo that was being aggressive to the man of the house, and it was fairly obvious. I asked her what she'd been doing, and she'd been giving it too much attention, petting it too much, petting it improperly. So I described how to do all that. And I explained that you need to do the give a treat through the cage bars, occasionally have him do that. Yeah, she didn't listen to me all. She immediately starts having him sit with the bird for a half hour at a time. I haven't heard from her back, but I'll bet you that it's the situation is reversed now, and the bird is going after her. That's
Oh,
where understanding the principles is so important.
right. Just how to pet your bird, how to handle them alone.
And don't look at what experts do. Listen to what they say, because until you're an expert, you don't really understand all the nuances. You just do. It's like learning to play chess. You don't try to play like a chess master. You learn to move the piece and how to do a few simple openings. Don't try to do the queen's gambit.
Right.
And, so start, especially playing black. Yeah. Give up if somebody starts doing the queen's gambit on you and you're playing black. You don't know what you're doing. You're gonna be all gonna be over for you soon, right? Come here. You don't want to get your beak petted right now? Well, you do. What do I have to? You want to go over there for it? All right. All right.
Oh, my Shuggy,
Oh.
doing the show for us. Thanks, Shuggy.
So funny,
Oh.
sugar.
Oh, it is a funny sugar.
Now she is bonded to me, and you would know that if you ever came into the main bird room. You'd see her blow herself up and makes a bunch of strange sounds loudly. That's telling you to stay away from me. But it took a long time to get her to where she wasn't trying to kill herself. So no way to avoid the bomb there. And so petting a beak like this, it could cause you to get bonded to a bird, and that would be a problem. But I'm already bonded, so it doesn't affect anything.
Right.
I had someone comment on my petting her beak. Well, yeah, she's already bonded to me. How's it going to change anything? It isn't.
Yeah, as Lisa says, Sugar is so cute. But as Sugar lives in the sanctuary, she cannot participate at our photo contest, but your birds can. So I just wrote to Jocelyn, so maybe Cinnamon wants to join, and yeah, all the others who have birds or in their relative have birds, so should be somehow connected to you. So please don't send us pictures of Mr. Maxwell bird or someone who is internet popularity.
Internet
But otherwise, we're happy to get your pictures. All the conditions, it's hard to tell it in chat, have been written in a post in all of our social media. So I'm not sure, Don, have you posted it to Facebook or so as well?
I didn't post it to Facebook, no. Just to Patreon and YouTube.
So we might post it on the other social media as well and repost the conditions. But there you can find the post. It has been posted, I think, 2 days ago with all the conditions and the email address where to send and when the winner revelation will be.
Oh, perfect.
And we are so excited to see the birds and make a funny time then when we can announce the winner. Shuggy.
Oh.
Shuggy says, I will judge them.
Aw.
So yeah, we hope for a lot of participation. And if you have questions, you can always contact us on the free chat of Patreon we have now. And then, of course, if you comment under videos or so, most of the time we get that too. Sometimes we miss one post, so then it's not against you. It's just that, yeah, it's the order YouTube takes of the comments or so is horrible, and you have no way to really sort them in any way.
No, it's just as bad as it was when Google bought YouTube. They haven't changed it. I've seen in the chat.
That
was
is
horrible.
wild.
They bought it. The chat function was horrible, and it's still just as bad. So
What?
Never invested.
And we also have an advent calendar. So you can access it on when you're a YouTube member, then it's basically for you on YouTube, and for everybody else, it's for free on Patreon. And there's something coming up, isn't it, Shuggy or Cecil? I think Cecil could tell you if he spoke English, he would probably tell you something. But for now, Cecil, I think Cecil got a visitor.
wake up, Cecil.
Maybe there shows up a video soon in the advent calendar. And there are also a lot of other fancy stuff like, what you can bake for your birds on Christmas, and just lovely stories about our vlog. So yeah, just join us, have a little fun.
Awesome. That sounds wonderful. Right, Cecil?
He's taking a nap.
He is a sleepy guy right now.
Oh, Cecil, that's cute. He's nodding off.
Hi, KK.
This is the kind of behavior too you don't want to usually encourage. I don't encourage anyone to let their bird beak their hand. In his case, what he's gone through, I know what I'm doing, so it's not a problem. If he develops any little quirks because of it, I can deal with it, but he kind of needs that right now, don't you? I fell asleep a couple of days in here, and they tend to just be quiet. I woke up and he was right under my chin, just stretched out across my chest, just with me.
That is so sweet. Oh my gosh.
KK blanket. Oh my.
He's such a good boy.
Oh, such a good.
You're a sweet bird, aren't you? Yes, you are.
Sweet boy.
KK bird. I know, I hear you. He's such a quiet bird, except when he squawks. But he runs out of toys, and he runs out of toys fast. I have a ring that you can put toys on. It's a big ring too. It's about 14 inches. So I put wood and toys all the way around it. I think about 12 pieces of wood, and I tossed it in there for him to play with. I come back an hour later, there's no wood on it. It's all gone.
Wow. And a wood chipper.
He just likes, and if you don't give him that, he'll start chewing his feathers. So, don't you, big boy?
One's definitely better than the other, that's for sure.
He's such a good boy, aren't you?
Look at him snuggling in. How sweet.
Yeah, I really didn't have any idea. I just knew that he belonged to a friend of mine, so, and that he had feather destructive behavior. So I said I would take him and got lucky as they found my conversation with Michael in his phone. Otherwise, he would be up in Seattle in a rescue and not getting any personal attention, or not much, because the guy's got 300 birds. So, and he's more of a
Jeez.
person kind of guy, aren't you?
He likes that one-on-one attention, that's for sure.
He does. Such a good bird.
Such a
Aren't
good boy.
They're all good birds. Even the Pippa, she's still sitting in front of
Pippa is a super good bird. She's just famous for trident trouble. And that's a thing non-tridents cannot handle.
They just can't handle her, it's true.
I think it's something in their heads, those tritons, and you can't shake it out. It's just there.
They are so funny.
In order for me to have Bob out, I have to put him in an aviator harness if there's any other bird in the room. And then the whole I have to keep a tight rein on it because he'll just suddenly jump like he's going to go for him. So,
That's
which
scary.
my guess is that he's got a tumor or something in his brain, but I've seen behavior before. There was one bird, I knew somebody who had a bird and they were on our board at the time, we were a board member, and the bird started striking out at pretty much everything. You couldn't put your hand in the cage without striking. So she had two homes. So she moved it to the second home where it would be a little quieter. And it died a week later, and it actually had a brain tumor.
So,
But you could go and get an X-ray, and it won't do you any good. All it'll do is tell you, oh yeah, it's a brain tumor. You have to deal with the behavior, so you can't fix a brain tumor.
right.
Nobody's doing brain surgery on parrots, so.
I hope that's not it.
I hope so. I don't know what it is, but it's for a while I thought maybe he was developing an odor because he can't poop right. So now twice a week I get rid of the odor he doesn't actually have it now, because if you wash him twice a week, he doesn't develop an odor. So the problem is finding the right soap that won't cause problems too. You can't have a soap that's going to weaken the sutures that help him to keep everything in, so finally this King's Cage makes one that you can use for what it says it's for white cockatoos. So, but it is veterinarian approved. That's the most important thing.
Oh yeah.
But he does seem to be feeling a little bit better about himself. But I had Mander in here just a couple of days ago. Mander was up on top of a cage, and he would not take his eyes off of it. He was sitting right where KK is, but his eye was like had his head twisted, and nothing you could do to get his eyes off of Mander. So I just put him back in his cage and then brought him in after I put Mander up.
Yeah. It's aggressive.
I mean, when you're going after Lucy, that makes no sense. Why would anybody attack this little girl? Well, she's snooty sometimes. She gets an attitude and she bites at some of the birds, but she doesn't hurt anybody. Don't you?
No.
little pushy, don't you? Don't you? Just a little bit.
Hmm.
The way her beak is, she can't really hurt anybody though. So if it wasn't quite so long, I'd have to be more careful. But
Hmm.
take a quarter inch off. A week later, you got another quarter inch ground back. That's pretty much the way it is with her. So,
Oh,
a vet could do it, but then she'd probably lose some of the feeling because you'd have to cut into the nerves. As long as she can eat, it's okay. We'll keep it at this length, I guess. What else can you do?
Yeah, she does fine.
yeah.
Well, looks like it's about time to wrap this thing up.
Mm.
4
It
minutes
is.
past.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for being here. Can you say something, Cecil? Say thank you. He's like, no, I'm not talking. Snowball, say goodbye. Snowball.
Snowball.
The snowbird.
A snowball. Oh,
Yeah.
look at his little hop. That was cute.
Up, up.
This is goodbye. Goodbye, Chef. We'll see you
Bye,
guys. What?
Shaggy.
Thanks, Anna Marie, Aaron, and Eleanor for helping with the chat. And we'll see you guys.